already we have studied individual demand schedule as well as individual demand curve. Okay, the main heading is demand schedule or demand table. Okay, demand schedule or demand table. Is that clear? Okay, so in last lecture we have started the topic number 3 section A. There are two sections in that topic. So section A is demand analysis and section B is elasticity of demand. Okay, then so in last lecture already we have studied introduction to the demand. Okay, introduction to the demand. In introduction to the demand, there are very important definition of desire. Desire means the urge to have something. The urge to have something can be called as desire. Can be called as desire. It means desire backed by demand. Desire backed by demand. So they are very important for willingness to purchase and ability to pay. It means all desires are not demand. Okay, all desires are not demand. So then following conditions are very important for complete consumer's demand. So demand is equal to desire plus willingness to purchase plus ability to pay. So in bracket, so demand is effective desire. Okay, demand is effective desire. That is the highlight. Okay, with the help of that demand is equal to desire plus willingness to purchase plus ability to pay. So demand is that quantity of commodity. Consumer purchase various types of goods and services during the given period of time. Is that clear? It means in demand analysis there are very important the price and time. Then already we have studied the main features of demand. You are right, the only line of that features like 1, 2, 3, there is no need for the explanation. Okay, so first feature of demand is utility is the base of demand. Okay, second, demand is relative concept. Demand is relative concept when demand changes from time to time and demand changes from place to place, and also demand changes from person to person. And finally, very important features to the demand is price and time. Reference of price and time is necessary for the consumer's demand. So that types of the introduction and main highlight already studied in last lecture. Then we have started in last lecture demand schedule. So demand schedule is the tabular representation. Demand schedule is the tabular representation that indicate functional relationship between the price and quantity demanded during the specific period of time. There are two types or two kinds of demand schedule. First is individual demand schedule and second is market demand schedule. So individual demand schedule is the tabular representation. It is indicate the relationship between the price and quantity demanded by only one consumer of the single consumer during the specific period of time. And that types of individual demand schedule explained with the help of individual demand schedule, and that individual demand schedule indicate measures represents there are inverse relationship between the price of commodity and the quantity demanded of commodity. Okay, why there are inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded? Because when price falls, then demand rises, and when price rises, then demand falls. It means so large number of quantity demanded at lower price, okay, and then smaller number of quantity demanded at high price. Is that clear? Okay, so you are right. When price rises, then demand falls, and when price falls, then demand rises. There are two columns. So numbers is 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1, and then quantity demand. Second column is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, only in explanation of that individual demand schedule, main highlight in that schedule indicate there are inverse relationship between the price and quantity demand. And then individual demand explained with the help of individual demand curve. Okay, so what is the explanation of that curve? Y-axis indicate price of commodity and x-axis indicate quantity demanded. Okay, so in that diagram, DD is the demand curve. DD is the demand curve means individual demand curve, and the main feature of that individual demand curve is the slope of that curve is downward from left to right. Downward from left to right indicates there are inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. Okay, and then students, today we are going to start second types of demand schedule. It's the name of that schedule is market schedule. Complete individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. V. Market demand schedule. Market demand schedule. Okay. Market demand schedule. So there are main two types of demand schedule or demand table. Okay. So first completed A individual demand schedule and individual demand curve, and in this section market demand schedule and market demand curve. Okay. Also market demand curve is a tabular representation of total demand of all consumers during given period of time. Look at that. Market demand is the total demand of all consumers in the market. Also, market demand should indicate there are functional relationship between the price and quantity demand is also inverse. Is that clear? Okay. So, market demand schedule is the tabular representation of total demand of all consumers during given period of demand. बघा, इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिमांड मध्ये ही एका व्यक्तीची मागणी असते. किती व्यक्तीची? एका व्यक्तीची मागणी असते. आणि मार्केट डिमांड मध्ये सगळ्या व्यक्ती तीनच्या मागणीची एकत्रित बेरीज असते. लक्षात आलंय का? ओके. मीन्स द टोटल डिमांड, ऑल कंझ्युमर डिमांड, all consumers demand, it is called as the market demand, and single consumer demand, it is called as the individual demand. So it means it is horizontal summation of all consumers. It is horizontal summation of all consumer. Okay, it is the horizontal summation of all consumer in the market. Okay, so it means the simple meaning, in individual demand indicate single consumer demand, and in market demand indicates total consumer demand or all consumers demand. That is the main distinction between the individual demand and market demand. So individual demand is the single buyer's demand. That's why there are only two columns of that schedule. The first is the price of commodity and second is the quantity demanded. And in market demand schedule, it can be explained with the help of one table or schedule. And in that table, there are various types of the column, because that demand indicates all buyers demand in the market, total demand in the market, or all consumer demand in that market. So market demand, it can be explained with the help of market demand schedule. Okay. It is the market demand okay. First column, then second column, and third column. Okay. First column, price of commodity X, price of commodity X. Name of first column is price of commodity X. And second is quantity demanded of commodity X in kilograms, kgs. And last column is market demand A plus B plus C. A plus B plus C A plus B plus C, third column. Then suppose there are three consumers in market demand. That is imagination example given by economist. So consumer A, okay, consumer B, then consumer C. Okay, A, B, C. Look at that. So price is 10, 8, 6, 4 and 2. That is the falling price. When price falls, then demand rises. Okay. Then price 8, then 6, then 4, finally 2. हे अशा पद्धतीने तुम्ही शेड्यूल तयार करायचे आणि ते तयार करत असताना बघा एक सिंपल तीच त्यानंतर क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड ऑफ कमोडिटी एक्स इन किलोग्राम 5, 10, 15, 20 and 25 means demand of consumer A means price of commodity 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. When price falls, म्हणजे जेव्हा किंमत कमी होते तेव्हा consumer A ची डिमांड काय होते इन्क्रीज होते 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. ओके मग त्यानंतर पुढे फक्त ऍडिशन करायचा 5, 10, 15, 10, 15, 20, then 15, 20, 25, then 20, 25, 30, then 25, 30 and 35. The simple. एक हाफ कॉलम तुम्ही तयार केला त्या कॉलम मध्ये जे तुम्ही नंबर्स घेतलेले आहेत ह्या कॉलम मध्ये लक्षात येते ह्या कॉलम मध्ये जे नंबर्स घेतले त्याच्या पुढे फक्त 5 वाढवायचे 5 नंतर 10 नंतर 15 10 नंतर 15 नंतर 20 15 नंतर 20 20 नंतर 25 तर इथं 5 चा डिफरन्स ठेवलेला आहे 20 नंतर 25 नंतर 30 25 नंतर 30 नंतर 35 फक्त हे दोन कॉलम तयार केले ऑटोमॅटिक पुढचे कॉलम तयार होतात. That is the one important statement related to the market. It is the market demand schedule, and that is horizontal summation of consumption A plus B plus C. Then you get the market demand. Okay, means horizontal summation or addition. Horizontal summation means 5 plus 10 plus 15. Okay, bhaga 30 means horizontal summation means 5 plus 10 plus 15 is equal to 30. Then 10 plus 15 plus 20 45. Okay, means 10 plus 50 plus 20 plus 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 50 plus 20 plus 50 plus 20 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 Okay. 20 plus 25, 35 and 45. Okay. Then horizontal solutions 15 plus 20 plus 25 60. Once again 25 plus 20 plus 35 35 40 60. Then 20 plus 25 plus 30 plus A means horizontal solution of consumer A plus B plus C indicate the total demand or all demand of consumers in market demand. Okay. 20 25 30 75 75 then 25 plus 30 plus 35 90. Okay, 90. Okay, means 65 70 90. Okay, that complete the market demand schedule. And बघा शेवटी मग आता क्लियर करायचे ABC means horizontal summation of consumer ABC. It is called as the market demand. So you are taken with the help of price of commodity and we are only taken two columns numbers. So a price of commodity X 108642 and market demand of consumer A plus B 30 45 60 75 90. And conclusion is when price falls then demand rises. Okay, and when price rises then demand falls. There are two columns also indicate there are inverse relationship between the price of commodity and market demand. Okay, look at that. When price falls then demand rises and when price rises then demand falls. म्हणजे बाजार मागणीमध्ये सुद्धा आपण असं विचार करू शकतो की एखाद्या वस्तूची किंमत जर कमी झाली, बघा एखाद्या वस्तूची किंमत जर कमी झाली तर बाजार मागणी सुद्धा वाढते आणि एखाद्या वस्तूची किंमत वाढली की बाजार मागणी सुद्धा घटते. जशी एका व्यक्तीच्या मागणीच्या बाबतीत घडतं तसंच बाजारात सर्व ग्राहकांनी केलेल्या मागणीच्या बाबतीत सुद्धा तसा प्रकार घडतो. means all consumers demanded is rising demand of falling price and falling demand of rising price. In simple language, when price decreases then demand increases and when price increases then demand decreases. But in simple language, when price falls then demand rises and when price rises then demand falls. That types of the sentence also indicate individual demand as well as the market demand. Okay, so that is the explanation of market demand schedule. Once again I have repeated that market demand schedule indicate, look at that, market demand schedule indicate there are inverse relation, look at that once again, there are inverse INVERSE, there are inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. The price and quantity, there are inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. Is that clear? Okay. Inverse means, look at that, inverse means त्याला आपण व्यस्त म्हणतो. Okay, inverse means the meaning of inverse, INVERSE, inverse means व्यस्त. आता इंडिव्हिज्युअल मागणीचा आपण विचार केला आणि मार्केट डिमांडचा विचार केला तर या दोन्हीही मागणीमध्ये ऐका, या दोन्हीही मागणीमध्ये हे जे रिलेशन आहे, हे रिलेशन कसं असतं लक्षात ठेवा. हे जे रिलेशन आहे हे रिलेशन व्यस्त, कशाचं, किमतीचा आणि मागणीचा संबंध हा व्यस्त असतो. कारण ज्यावेळी बाजारात वस्तूच्या किमती कमी होतात त्यावेळेस मागणी काय होते, वाढते. आणि ज्यावेळेस वस्तूच्या किमती वाढतात त्यावेळेस मागणी काय होते. ही जनरल टेंडन्सी आहे. लक्षात आलंय का? ही काय आहे, ही जनरल टेंडन्सी आहे. कारण आज जर आपण विचार केला तर बघा, जर बाजारात तुमची लहान मुलं असतील किंवा तरुण असतील, तुमच्या गटातले असतील किंवा वयस्कर असतील, ज्यावेळी बाजारामध्ये विशिष्ट प्रकारच्या वस्तूच्या किमती कमी होतात तर 100% आपली प्रवृत्ती असते की त्या वस्तूची मागणी आपण काय करतो, जास्त करतो. बरोबर आहे. हा, आणि ज्यावेळी किमती वाढतात किंवा कांद्याचा भाव जर प्रमाणापेक्षा वाढला तर आपण अधिक प्रमाणात कांदे खाणे पसंत करत नाही. तर बघा की अशा अनेक प्रकारची कापडाची दुकानं आता सद्यस्थितीमध्ये आपल्या राजगुरूनगरमध्ये, तर त्या ठिकाणी कापडाच्या दुकानामध्ये सेल लागलेला आहे. बरोबर आहे. तर तो सेल लागल्यानंतर एक गोष्ट लक्षात ठेवा की आपण काय करतो, थोड्या त्यांनी वस्तूच्या 10%, 20%, काही ठिकाणी 30%, काही ठिकाणी 40%, काही ठिकाणी 50% त्यांनी प्राइस काय केलं, डिक्रीज केलेलं आहे, कमी केलं. ज्यावेळेस किमती त्यांनी कमी केलेल्या आहेत तर माणसाच्या प्रवृत्ती काय सांगते, मग ती एका व्यक्तीची मागणी असेल किंवा बाजारातील मागणी असेल तर माणसाची प्रवृत्ती काय सांगते की ज्यावेळी त्या ठिकाणी सेल लागलेला आहे तर त्या ठिकाणी वस्तूची किंमत झाल्यामुळे त्या व्यक्तीची मागणी काय होते, इन्क्रीज होते, डिमांड वाढते. ओके, म्हणजे ही प्रवृत्ती, म्हणजे वस्तूची किंमत कमी झाली की मागणी वाढते आणि किंमत वाढली की मागणी कमी होते. याला आपण म्हणतो की देर आर इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द प्राइस अँड क्वांटिटी डिमांड. म्हणजे किंमत आणि मागणीचा संबंध हा व्यस्त असतो. कारण व्हेन प्राइस फॉल्स देन डिमांड रायझेस. म्हणजे जेव्हा किमती कमी होतात त्यावेळेस मागणी वाढते. अँड व्हेन प्राइस रायझेस देन डिमांड फॉल. आणि ज्यावेळेस किमती वाढतात त्यावेळेस मागणी काय होते, कमी होते. लक्षात आलं. याच आता यामध्ये मी समजा 10, 8, 6 फोटो दिले, यामध्ये तुम्ही तुमच्या मनाचे कोणत्या प्रकारचे आकडे घेऊन हे शेड्यूल तयार करू शकता. मी दिलेले आकडे किंवा पुस्तकाचे आकडे, हे आकडे तुम्हाला अजिबात घेण्याची आवश्यकता नाहीये. हे फक्त हे एक्झाम्पल क्लिअर करण्यासाठी तुम्हाला दिले. फक्त तुम्ही आकडे घेताना ही किंमत कमी होताना दाखवायची आणि मला ऑटोमॅटिकली तयार केली. तुम्हाला सुद्धा बघा, घरी तुम्ही ट्राय करा, स्वतःचे आकडे घ्या काही न पाहता आणि त्यानुसार तयार करा, मला दाखवा किंवा हे चेक करा. ही प्रॅक्टिस होणं गरजेचं. यामध्ये तुमच्या कोणत्याही प्रकारचे आकडे जरी टाकले तरी कोणत्याही प्रकारचा प्रॉब्लेम तुम्हाला येणार नाही. फक्त आपल्याला इंडिकेट काय करायचे, व्हेन प्राइस फॉल्स देन डिमांड राइजेस and price rises then demand falls. That's all. Why? Because there are inverse relationship between the price and quantity demanded. मग ती इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिमांड शेड्यूल किंवा इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिमांड असेल किंवा मार्केट डिमांड असेल, तेवढी तुम्ही काळजी घ्यायची. आणि हे अशा पद्धतीचे मार्केट डिमांड आणि इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिमांड शेड्यूल तुम्ही काय करायचे, घरी तयार करायचे. ओके. आता बघा, ज्याप्रमाणे आपण इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिमांड शेड्यूलचा आधार घेऊन इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिमांड कर्व तयार केला होता, त्याच पद्धतीने आपण या मार्केट डिमांड शेड्यूलचा आधार घेऊन आपण या ठिकाणी मार्केट डिमांड कर्व डायग्राम तयार करणार आहोत. सो सेकंड लाइन इज द मार्केट डिमांड शेड्यूल can be explained with the help of market curve. Okay, so opposition of individual demand curve, it is known as market demand curve. Okay. Y X. Okay. Y axis indicate price of commodity X. X axis indicate demand of commodity X. Okay. So demand of commodity X. So price to, look at that, 4, 6, 8 and 10. And then आता एक लक्षात ठेवा, 5 अधिक 10 आणि 15 बेरीज आपण, that is the which market demand indicates the all consumer demand in the market. म्हणजे हे 3 कॉलम घ्यायचे नाही, पहिला कॉलम याची बेरीज आपण याच्यामध्ये घेतलेली आहे. ओके, मग त्यामध्ये बघा 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, so start from 30, then 45, okay, then 60, then 75 and then 9. Okay, clear that. Okay, म्हणजे या ठिकाणी आपल्याला मधले कोणते प्रकारचे हे घ्यायचे नाही, that is the horizontal summation of consumer A plus B plus C is equal to 30, 45, 60, 75 and 90. Okay, so look at that, 2, 4, 6, price of commodity, okay, 8 and 10. Okay, so 10, 30. Look at that. When price of commodity 10, market demand is A plus B plus C, 30 kilograms. Look at that, 30. Then price A, market demand 45 kg. Then price of commodity X is 6, market demand is 60. Market demand is 60. Then price of commodity X is rupees 4, market demand is 75 kilogram. Kilogram. And price of commodity X is rupees 2, market demand is 90. Look at that, 2, there is 90. Okay, 2. Join that line. Okay. Okay, join that line. आणि हा जो कर्व आहे हा तुम्ही घरी पट्टीच्या साईड तयार करायचा आहे, त्याला नाव द्यायचे डी डी. सो in this case dd is equal to market demand curve, CURVE, market demand curve. Okay, so market demand curve, dd is the market demand curve. Okay, then you join that line 10, 30. Okay, 8, 45. Then 6, 60. 6, 60. Then 4, 75. हे सगळं पट्टीच्या साईडने तुम्ही जोडून घ्यायचे. Then 2, 90. Complete the diagram. Is that clear? अशा पद्धतीने तुम्ही व्यवस्थितपणे जोडून हे एकदम अशा पद्धतीने सुटसुट डायग्राम आला पाहिजे. आणि नाही समजला डायग्राम तर तुम्ही मला विचारू शकता. आता 3 ते 4 ओळीमध्ये या डायग्रामचं आपल्याला एक्सप्लेनेशन या ठिकाणी लिहिणं गरजेचं आहे. ओके, सो लिहिताना फर्स्ट टू लाईन y axis indicate price of commodity X and x axis indicate quantity demanded of commodity X. ओके, हे कोणत्याही शेड्यूलचं स्पष्टीकरण डायग्रामचं असेल. ओके, सो that types of okay, y axis indicate price of commodity X and x axis indicate quantity demanded of commodity X. In this diagram DD is the demand curve. Which demand curve? DD is market demand curve. DD is market demand curve. Okay, that curve that is the graphical representation. Okay, market demand curve is the graphical representation. It means we have taken the various types of the numbers of price of demand plotted with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you are joining that line. Which line? 1, 2, we have joined that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have get DD. So DD means market demand curve, and the main features of that curve is slope. SLOPE. Slope of market demand curve is downward. This movement, look at that. This movement downward from left to right. That means the main features of market demand is, so the slope of demand curve is downward from left to right. Indicate, look at that curve. Which curve? DD curve indicate there are inverse relationship between the price and demand. There are inverse relationship between the price and quantity demand because of what is the reason? When price falls, then demand rises, and when price rises, then demand falls. Okay, अशा पद्धतीने आपण इंडिव्हिज्युअल डिमांड शेड्यूल आणि मार्केट डिमांड शेड्यूल याची जी तफावत आहे ती पाहिलेली आहे. बाकीचा भाग आपण उद्याच्या तासात पाहूया. थँक्यू.